piece is the last piece that I'll share with you today. It's called A World of Contrast, and it's actually a true story of one day in my life a few years ago that I lived through, and I'll never forget this day. I was living in Israel at the time, and I was spending a bit of time travelling in the north of Israel, and it was very wonderful because the north of Israel in the summertime was green rolling fields and smiling people with interesting stories, and its music festivals galore. And I was attending a klezmer music festival, Jewish folk music festival, in a little town called Tzfat, which is nestled up in a beautiful set of mountains. And there's a spot on the main street of Tzfat that you can stand and just look over the view and the mountains beneath you. And beneath you what you can see is a river valley, and it's of the Amud River, and it flows down to the east and into the Lake Kinneret. I refer to it as the lake, and you might also know it as the Sea of Galilee. And so a friend and I spent a few days in this beautiful, enchanted, mystical town called Tzfat, enjoying the klezmer music. And after the festival was over, we put our backpacks on and we went hiking down the side of the mountain and into the river valley. And we camped overnight, and then we walked down the river valley all the way to the Sea of Galilee, to the Lake Kinneret. And it was a very beautiful day, but it was also a very scary day, because that was the day that war broke out between Israel and the Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. This is my story of that day. The folk festival had come to a close, and so before the sun set and the full moon rose, the women descended from the mountain, traversing rock and sand, to the ancient river valley to walk and greet the land. With music in their ears and laughter in their bellies, they barely noticed the hostages' faces screamed on all the tellings. They had captured and taken another two, those fundamentalists from over the hill, while the women set up camp on the river shore, told stories, and the night was still. Then, as the mosquito net sifted the soft mountain breeze, and the birds were just waking in their nests in the trees, and the women were still dreaming of klezmer folklore, the neighbouring countries went to war. Men! Wake up to the shuddering of white-draped mosquito net that had let the starlight in but kept the insects out, and could stand no ground against the earth-shattering rockets that blasted bits of this world into the next around us. A siren wails from the mystical town nestled in the mountaintop above us that only yesterday was full of accordions and violins. Fires smoulder where Katyushas landed. But my friend is strangely calm. She has seen this before. She learned how to wear a gas mask long before she ever attended her first dress-up day at school. She said, every day is for living. Said the one to the other, the reality of life in our little country is never-ending strife. But listen to the birds whose songs outlast the plains above. Today is our day to immerse ourselves in nature and peace and love. And in between the helicopters flying overhead, the alarmed phone calls from loved ones, Today is a beautiful summer's day. Glorious sun rays dapple the valley in colour and warmth. Rock hares scuttle up and down rocky cliff faces. Carob pods ripen on shady trees. And the river just keeps flowing and flowing down to the lake. Rockets sail through blue skies. This is not a day to stop rejoicing in the world's superb creation. Look, the valley is lush and the water is cool. It's our spirit that sustains our nation. And it seemed more dangerous to re-enter the town, so the women walked the day the way the water flowed down. After exploring caves and climbing trees for rest and a little snore, the setting sun and rising moon found they had made it to the lake shore. Exhausted and relieved by the latest news broadcast that said that according to the missiles range, they had reached safety at last. She shed her clothes and backpack and shoes and cried to release her fears. The balmy air carried her cries to the hills. The fresh water dissolved her tears. The moon was round and red, then orange, as it rose over the lake. The water was still and silvery smooth as she started to sob and shake. There are strangers that want us dead. Then, back on the shore, her good friend taught the teary one a song of love for the land, its waters and people, that serenaded them all night long. Mosquito net hung from a tree once again to protect them from biting afflictions. And thus the night passed while the war carried on in the land of intense contradictions.